Overnight, Ukrainian saboteurs were able to sneak onto Russia's Krimsk airbase and torch a modern Russian Air Force Su-30 flanker. The cost of a Russian Su-30 fighter jet varies based on the variant and buyer-specific configurations. The basic Su-30 SM model, a widely used variant within Russia, has an estimated price of around $35 to $37 million per unit. The political officer of a Russian regiment was kidnapped and tortured by his own commanders after discovering that they were involved in drug smuggling and reselling humanitarian aid, fuel, and even weapons. The case illustrates rampant corruption in the Russian army. Astra reports on the case of the Deputy Commander for Political Affairs of the 109th Separate Rifle Regiment, Senior Lieutenant Kirill Demin, who began an investigation after his subordinates complained about drug-addicted soldiers who were incapable of fighting. After catching a drug dealer called Roma, he says he focused initially on the regiment's head of food distribution, Anatoly Tereshin, who, according to Demin, sells food from warehouses. Tereshin sold $1.5 million on the side in just 2 weeks. The guys on the front lines are underpaid, but he sells canned meat, olives, sausage, humanitarian aid. Zrение, говорит Demin. Demin interrogated Tereshin on video and obtained a confession that the man was selling army food on the orders of the regiment's deputy commander for logistics, Lieutenant Sergei Belik, who had allegedly threatened to send Tereshin to the front lines if he didn't comply. The investigation led to the regiment's deputy commander for weapons, Umakhan Gadjesov, call sign Caspian, who Demin says was looting the regiment's fuel and weapons for his own profit. As Astra reports, according to him, the fuel goes to civilian truckers, at least 10 tons of fuel per month from one battalion, and Gadjesov has 3 battalions under his command. Fuel theft is a long-standing Russian military tradition, going back to Soviet times. At the start of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, many Russian vehicles ran out of fuel because their drivers or depot managers had sold it to Belarusian truckers. Gadjesov is also allegedly involved in selling weapons. Demin says that the regiment wrote off newly received Dragunov sniper rifles. The documents arrived, but the rifles themselves were not there. 3 Kamaz trucks loaded with ammunition also disappeared. Demin says that Gadjesov offered 600,000 rubles, $5,800 a month for his silence after he learned of the investigation. Demin refused, saying, "Vladimir Vladimirovich pays my salary." He returned from a period of leave on October 10, 2023, but was kidnapped by 3 men at a checkpoint near Yenikhiv in the occupied Donetsk region. He was taken to a frigid basement, which he describes as an ice chamber, where he was confined with a bag over his head. Demin was repeatedly beaten and tortured with electric shocks in the following days. "My hands were swollen from the handcuffs, they turned blue. I thought they would break down and they would have to be amputated. The marks almost went all the way to the bone. My entire sides were blue. They beat me with truncheons, sticks, kicked me, strangled me. They electrocuted me so much that I couldn't even hold in my feces. I mean, it was a near-death experience, just like the Gestapo." Demin says that he recognized one of the torturers as a military policeman who was involved in the arrest of the drug dealer. Another was the deputy commander of the 132nd Separate Guards Motor Rifle Brigade, Valery Dermenji, in front of whom he was given electric shocks. He believes the torture site was on the premises of the military police platoon of the 132nd Separate Guards Motor Rifle Brigade in Yenikhiv. After his mother learned of his kidnapping, she sent an urgent appeal to senior commanders for him to be released. In response, his mother says she was contacted personally by the chief of beatings, 49-year-old soldier Almaz Arlashev, call sign Gyurza, who threatened to kill both Demin and her. Arlashev was previously implicated in beating a soldier to death, but escaped punishment. Demin was eventually released from the basement, but was denied medical care for the injuries he had sustained under torture. He was forced to sign a report that he agreed to be demoted 5 ranks, to private, even though regulations permit only demotion by 1 rank. Demin says that his commanders tried to bring charges against him but dropped them, and instead sent him to the front line without a weapon or a bulletproof vest. According to his mother, he was told that he would be removed from the front line if he stopped speaking about the 132nd Brigade's illegal business. However, he refused. He was there for about 2 months before a comrade warned him that he would be assassinated with a drone. Demin had made numerous voice and video recordings and collected documents for his investigation, which had implicated the brigade's commander, Colonel Sergei Naimushin. However, he says that since Naimushin is a hero of Russia, this case began to be quietly hushed up. Naimushin told me personally that he was a king and a god. When I told him about the laws of the Russian Federation, he laughed in my face, saying that this was not the Russian Federation, but the DPR. He did not listen to me, that I had a gum boil and a broken rib. Without a bulletproof vest and without an automatic rifle under escort, he sent me to the front. If they do this with officers, the deputy commander of the unit, can you imagine what they do there with the soldiers? Damon subsequently escaped from the war zone and went back to his home region near Engels in the Saratov region. He says that his complaints went unanswered, while a criminal case was never opened against those who kidnapped and tortured him, despite prosecutors finding cause. He has now been detained and is reportedly facing several criminal charges, including unauthorized absence from his unit. Before his arrest, Demin said, "If I go and surrender to them, they'll put me in a cell and then take me back to this den of beasts, and then they'll definitely kill me. They immediately made it clear to me that I was stepping on the toe of some big people with this fuel case. They sat quietly stealing, and it would have been better if I had shut my mouth." Why did I go there to war? Because I had something to show and prove. I thought it would be within the law, but in the end, I ended up in a cellar, tortured, broken ribs, and then crushed on the front. Now I have a ruined fate, and I just don't know what to do. I marched in the front lines in Popasna. After that, I went to the special military operation again to prove that I am not a coward. But when there is such lawlessness, can you imagine how upset I am? Demin's case highlights the Russian army's problems with corruption, especially in the units raised by the puppet People's Republics created by Russia in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions of Ukraine. They have now been incorporated into the Russian army proper. In September 2024, a controversy resulted after 2 drone operators with the call signs Goodwin and Ernest were sent to their deaths after making very similar allegations of corruption in another ex-DPR unit.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.